Hi, I'm Michael,
And I'm Ryan.
and we're
We're
the
the
Horror
Horror Husbands.
Husbands.
Horror, not horror. So, being how this week brings us the release of the brand new Scream movie that we've been waiting 10 years for, we were talking about horror movie opening scenes because the Scream movies are kind of known for their iconic openings.
Such amazing openings.
See, if that was me, I would be out of there.
So we decided that for this video, we would come up with our list of our 5 favorite horror movie openings of all time. So for this first video here, we're each going to reveal our number 5 picks, and we didn't discuss this with each other, so
It's gonna be a
Don't know what's
surprise.
gonna happen.
but why don't you go first?
Okay, so my number 5 of all time horror movie openings is A Quiet Place 2018.
Ooh, that's funny because when I was coming up with my top 5,
Which started out as the top 17.
I had A Quiet Place 2 as one of my honorable mentions.
Wow.
So why did you pick the original?
I picked A Quiet Place because I think that it is an iconic way of storytelling. The beginning of that movie is so different than anything that you've ever seen before, I think, with the fact that it is, you get introduced to this family and to this problem, something that's very scary, we don't know what, through the sound design, only through the acting. The only dialogue is sign language, and otherwise, it's entirely based on how they react to each other, where you feel this sense of dread building because you know that they can't be loud. You know that there's something out there that they're afraid of. And then by the end, right before the credits roll, that's where you have the little boy bringing out the space shuttle, and you see the monster, and it's
Kind of.
totally just frightening and horrifying. And then when those title credits run, A Quiet Place, and you hear the strings, it's just an amazing experience. And I think for me, it is definitely one of my top 5.
It's so true too. And for that movie, the way it starts, they just throw you right into it because they're already in the midst of whatever's happening, and the audience doesn't know what that is. But you just feel the tension immediately before you've even figured out the story. And plus, Emily Blunt.
I don't eat anything, and when I feel like I'm about to faint, I eat a cube of cheese.
Yes, she's amazing.
Yes.
All right. So now it's your turn.
My pick. Okay, so my number 5. I bet no one expected to see a PG rated movie on this list, but my first one is going to be Jaws from 1975. That movie, that was like one of my early introductions to horror. One of those things that helped give me my love of horror. I was probably too young to watch it, but hey, it was PG at the time, so.
Tell me a little bit more about why.
Oh, there's so many reasons. Probably my favorite thing about it is, as opposed to a lot of other movies, especially modern day movies, you don't really see anything. And that kind of, interestingly enough, ties in with like what you were saying about The Quiet Place, how there's no dialogue and you just get pulled in by other things. And that's the same way with Jaws, because though there is a little bit of dialogue, you don't see what the horror is. It's so dark, and all you really have are these dark shadows, this open water,
this crazy woman who decides to go out swimming, and then
and the score, the John Williams score, coupled with Steven Spielberg's direction. It still gives me chills. I mean, it was made way before I was born, and I still love it to this day. Still get chills during that scene, and I still will think about it every time I'm getting in the water after all these years. That's still the first thing I think about anytime I'm about to go in the ocean or go swimming, or like even just barely put my feet in the water. So if a movie has the power to do that, to make you think about it every time you're gonna go in the water, that's pretty powerful. So that's why I picked Jaws.
Amazing.
So if anyone's watching this, you can let us know which pick you guys like better. Part 2, next video, will be our number 4 picks. So I think that's it.
Okay.
From the Horror Husbands. Horror. Can't stress that enough.
Horror.
Don't want to give the wrong impression.
See you next time. Bye.